Hey there, my name is Amit Singh and welcome back to the channel PantherSchools. We are again back with another Salesforce flow scenario where basically we are going to talk about how basically we can use a record triggered flow to populate a field on the account whenever a contact is created and there are some criteria that are met in that contact record. Before we get started, please do like, share, subscribe the channel and also press the bell icon so that you don't basically miss any sort of notification related to the new content that we are creating. And please do subscribe. I've seen you guys don't subscribe the channel. Okay, that is the motivation for us to basically keep creating the new content. Let's go ahead now talk about the scenario. The first thing that you need to do is, as part of the prerequisites, you need to create a checkbox on the contact and label it as primary contact. Then you need to create a lookup field on the account and label it as a primary contact. That is what we need to do. After the prerequisites are done, the scenario is here, and how it looks like is that whenever a contact is created under any account and the primary contact checkbox is checked, then you need to update the related account with that contact ID. And if there are any other primary contact under that account, you need to mark those as false. Again, let me repeat it. Whenever a new contact is created and the primary checkbox is checked, then you need to basically find out the related contact, update the primary contact field on the account, contact related account, and if there are any existing primary contact under that account, you need to set those as false. Let's see how we are going to do this. Let's quickly try to create a flow because we already know that it is going to be a record triggered flow. So let's create a record triggered flow. What is our triggering object? Contact. Contact is our triggering object. When a record is created. And what is the condition? The condition is that the record should be related to account. So account ID is null false. That is the one thing. Second thing, we haven't talked about the prerequisites. We haven't created prerequisites, right? So let's get back to our let's get back to object manager. And here first we need to find the field called contact, not field, the object. Go to the contact, fields and relationship, new field, and the field is going to be a type of checkbox. Click on next. The label is going to be primary contact, and then keep clicking next. Make sure you provide the access to all the profiles or permission set, add those to the layout and click on save. That is the prerequisite for contact object. And let's go to the account object, create one more field on account, and this is going to be a lookup field. Parent object is going to be contact. So select the contact from the drop down, give the name as primary contact, and I'm going to say next. I'm making sure I'm giving the permission to all my required permission set or profiles, and it has to be added into the layout again for verification purpose. Click on save. Now we are done with the basically prerequisite part. Let's go to the flow builder and again refresh this page. Why we are refreshing this page? Because we have created few fields which are basically not present when we created the flow. So now we need to get the latest information and we have to refresh this page. So let's click start from scratch, next, record triggered flow, and what is our triggering object? That is going to be contact. And then again the same filter, contact has to be a related account and it must be the primary contact. So let's select contact. A record is created, condition required, and first thing, as we talked about, account ID must be populated on the contact. So we will say account ID is null false. Second condition is going to be primary contact equals true if the contact is primary contact. Okay, and let me basically, if you are not able to see it, okay, if you're not able to see it, what I would do is, okay, let me pull this. Okay, yeah, so you would be able to see it now. So primary contact should be equal to true, account ID is null should be false. Let me increase it so that you can see it in a better way. Okay, then how we wanted to optimize our flow for, we wanted to optimize our flow for actions and related records, and then basically that's it, that's what we need to do. So what, again repeating, trigger should be on the contact, account ID should be populated, and primary contact should be true. Close this. If that is the case, then what we need to do is, whatever the contact is getting created, it should be marked as primary on the related account record. So let's click on plus, and we will say update related records, because account is related record, right? Account is not something that the object is not related. So we will say update related record, and we'll say UR01 update account record, and it says that update record ID related to the contact record that triggers the flow. Yes. What is our related contact record? Triggering contact dot account. So let this be populated over here. So we are going to say account. That is what we want to populate. Just choose account and that's it. Triggering contact dot account ID. That's what we need to select. Set whatever the value we want to populate. We want to populate primary contact. And what would be the primary contact? The contact record which just got created. So let's say it's going to be record.id, and that's it. Our primary contact has been updated on the account record, which was the part 1 of our requirement. What is the second part of our requirement? That if there are any existing contact record where we found that at least one contact is primary contact, we need to mark them as false. We need to mark them as non-primary. How we will do? First, we need to query the related records under that account. So let's click on again plus sign. We will say get records, and here we will say gr01 get primary contacts. Get primary contacts. Okay. Which object we want to query? We want to query contact object. What would be the criteria here? The criteria would be account ID equals the account which is related to the triggering contact. That is one criteria. Second is that primary contact equals false, sorry, equals true. That is the second criteria. And there is one important criteria, that is we need to exclude this contact which is getting created so that it doesn't come up in this query. So for that we need to add one more thing. We will say ID does not equal record.id. So we are saying give us all the contact which are related to this account where primary is true and contact ID is not equal to the contact which is getting created. That is basically what we have to do. And next we need to see if there is any contact. If there are any contacts which we have found, then we can say okay, go ahead, click on plus sign, use decision element, and we will say DC00 check if contacts found. Under the outcomes we are going to say, for the new outcome we will say contact found, and for the default outcome we will change it to contacts not found. Under the contacts found, we need to have the condition, whatever the list we are getting, if that list is not empty, that means there is at least one record. Let's click on the drop down and we search for contacts from ZR01. Just keep that contact. Whenever you will be selecting, by default it will basically be populated with the dot sign, period sign. You just need to remove that. Then for the operator, select where is that, get prime, sorry, one important thing which we missed. What is that? If you go back to your get records element, under how many records to store, we need to select all records, then only we will get all the records there. Okay, and now again in the condition, go back to the condition, and now here you have to select contacts from get records. Okay, so you select contacts. For operator, select is empty, value select false if it is not empty. Okay, if not empty, that means we have found the contacts. If empty, we have to just end our flow. If not empty, we need to update our contacts, all the contacts, the primary field, the primary contact field as flag as false. Okay, so how we do it? We have found a very cool way, which is transform element, right? And that is what we are going to use. So we will use transform and we are going to say search for transform. We will say TS01 update primary contact. What is our source data? Source data is the list of contacts which we have queried. So let's click on plus and select contacts from ZR1. Okay, this is our source data. What is the target data? Target data is the contacts again. So data type, record, allow multiple values, yes, because there could be more than one record. And what is the object? Contact again. Click on create. Now we've got this. So the contact ID should be matched with the ID. So let's match contact ID with ID and primary contact with primary contact. So we are going to match this primary contact with primary contact because both are same object. Now one thing that is missing here, this primary contact should always be set to false. So let's select this, go to the function, formula, and type it as false here because it's a boolean variable. Click on check syntax and you will see its valid value. Go back to the transform, close it now, and finally update the contacts. So let's use update records and we will say UR02 and we will say update related contacts. How you are going to update? We are going to use this. Use the record ID and field values from a record or collection because we already have the list of records which we want to update. What is the value? That is basically contacts from TS transform element 01 and that's it. Go ahead and click on save your flow and we will say update primary contact to the account. Okay, we have just given the flow label update primary contact to account and we are done. Still there are few things which are missing, like we are missing the fault paths here for all three elements. You can add the fault paths. I'm not going to add those because we have already talked about how to add the multiple fault path. You can try to add fault path and do a chatter post. You can try to basically add a fault path and what you can do is maybe try to send an email or you can try to do multiple things. Okay, I'm basically not going to do it, and but we will see how we can improve this fault path in the future videos. Let's go ahead and debug it. Click on debug. Let's select any contact, maybe Barbara Levy, that doesn't have that checkbox true. So if you click on run, even the trigger has not triggered. Why? Because the initial condition itself is false. Let's do one thing. Let me duplicate this, and I'm going to basically open a contact here. Let's say a Barbara Levy or something, or someone else, and we will change that checkbox, and then we will test it. So for Barbara Levy, edit this contact and make it as primary contact. Oh, I don't see the save button. Okay, strange. We'll say click on save. I will again try to open. Okay, I'll try to open another contact, maybe Josh Davis. Edit. Now I got the save button on the bottom. I'll make this as primary contact and save it. So we have got this Josh Davis as a primary contact. Let's go back to our flow. Click on debug, and we will select our contact, which is Josh Davis. We are saying run immediately. We are not skipping the conditions, and we are clicking on run. And we will see what will happen. Okay. So you see the dark blue line, it says that okay, I have updated the contact, I have get the related contacts, then I have mapped the contact and then updated those. So that means our flow is working fine. Let's go ahead, activate this and try to create a new contact. Let's go to Josh Davis. I'm going to clone this, okay? And my account is Express Logistics and Transport. Oops, I don't want to create, delete. I will create it. I'll say Mr. Josh Davis, maybe Junior. Email, I'm going to change it, maybe express something, okay, exp.net. Just trying to do it, and let's make sure it is basically primary contact. Click on save. So the contact got created, and if I go to the account, let me open it a new tab, and you will see here that the primary contact is Josh Davis Jr. Okay, that is the first positive test that we have done. Second thing, if I go back and create a clone of this again, I'm trying to create another contact. I would say Josh Davis Senior, and instead of email, I'm just trying to put some value over here. I don't care about duplicate records, okay? And then go ahead and click on save. So now we've got Mr. Josh Davis Senior. Primary contact was included as true. If you go back to logistic transport, you still see Josh Davis Jr. If you refresh this page, now you will see Josh Davis Senior as primary contact. Because we had not refreshed, that is why we were not getting the updated data. Now if you go to the related contact and open this Josh Davis Jr., the primary contact should have been set to false. Open this, and you can see here the primary contact checkbox is checked to false. So that is basically what the overall scenario was. Now there are few basically changes that you can make as an assignment. What are those? Number one, at a time there would be only one primary contact. So instead of querying all the records, you can query one record and update that. That is the one change you can do. Second thing is that fault paths are missing. You can have the fault path. Third is important thing that you might want to basically achieve using this flow is that create a field, okay? Create a field on the account saying that previous primary contact, and then store that whatever the previous primary contact was there. You can store that in the contact. If you want, you can do that with the help of lookup field, or the other option is you can create a text area field and have the comma separated previous contact names there. It's up to you. It's a good use case. You can enhance this workflow, you can enhance this flow in order to make your new requirement. So this is it for this video. Thank you for your time. Please give it a like, share, subscribe, and also press the bell icon. And any questions, any new scenario, please put in the comment section so that we can help you to learn flow in a better way. Also, we have started a new series on AI development, so please go ahead, check those videos out and help us to create more and more videos by subscribing the YouTube channel. Thank you.